blockers. But it really pushed the envelope with that one, guys. Stars Ike Barinholtz, Leslie Mann, and John Cena as three parents whose children have decided to form a sex pact on prom night. And well, let's just say they're not too happy about it. Look, when I saw the trailer for this in theaters...
Oh my God.
Jesus, he's spit roasting himself.
Pose, run!
Pose! Oh!
Really, is this the bar we're setting? And obviously that kind of humor has an audience, but it ain't me. I get it, I'm lame, but those just crude, really elevated potty humor jokes are not usually my thing. Needless to say, my expectations were pretty dang low for this movie. You know, take it for what it is, but it surpassed them by quite a lot, actually. It definitely starts off very clunky. Not just the humor, but the characters themselves. The three kids are just thrown together on the first day of elementary school, and then just fast forward and they're super best friends. And it's pretty much the same with the parents. There's also a lot of moments where the adults are really just dumb. When they're trying to figure out what the text messages are that are being sent between their daughters.
All emojis have a secret meaning.
Oh, eggplants are dicks. This is some kind of a dick-related agreement.
Maybe they're just saying, hey, you're okay with me, you're okay with me.
Those jokes just did not hit at all for me. And I was just stuck thinking, I don't think that's really how the kids would act, and I don't think this is how parents would respond in this situation either. It was quite frustrating. But after you get out of that first act, things do begin to kind of settle down a little bit. You really believe that these kids have been friends, and you don't feel the need necessarily for an explanation because the three actors did such a great job and had so much chemistry together that it just felt super natural, and I totally bought into it. The parents have a very different relationship than the kids do. They're clearly not best friends, but it felt like they did know each other, and I did buy into the relationships they have as well. It's interesting watching John Cena in a movie like this. You'd expect him to obviously go more in the action direction, because this is really the first time we've seen him in a lead role, live action at least, aside from some stuff a while back. And I think maybe he just wants to kind of distance himself from The Rock, so he doesn't want to go down that same path. And he does a fine job here as kind of the coach dad, super into sports, all that. They only had 2 scenes really that used John Cena as the big buff guy, which honestly I thought were both 2 of the funnier moments in the film. But still, his comedic timing was very good throughout. But really, Ike Barinholtz stood out the most for me. Some of that was because in the beginning of the film, he was the least annoying, but he is also given some of the more comedic moments. But still, they were all good enough that I did buy into the relationship, despite the fact that I thought the setup was kind of eh. And yeah, the humor is a ton of really crude stuff. There are some less crude jokes that I appreciated more and that I did laugh at, but you know, I'm not gonna lie, I bought some of the crude stuff too. It was not bad. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Still hate that one joke from the trailer. From the humor you see in the trailer, know that there's definitely more to the film than just that. And especially as we get towards the end, the characters really become human, and a lot of the times when I was questioning throughout the film, I get to see all those questions answered, and it was super fulfilling, and I realized like I was way more emotionally invested in these characters than I thought I was, because by answering those questions, the film really turned that hate into a sort of love of the characters. So it's not the greatest thing. Still, the humor was hit and miss for me, and it's not the most original movie by any stretch. But there was a lot more to this film and a lot more depth than I thought there ever would be. So I have to get it credit for that. If you want a good adult comedy, then I think you could check this one out. If you don't need that right now, it's definitely not one you have to see day one. But I think it could be fun if you want to check it out in theaters toward the end of its run or once it hits the streaming services. One to keep an eye on for sure.